Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, congratulations to the Lady Jacket softball team.
Yeah, 3 region championships in a row. Again, they made a nice run last year, finished state runner-up, and they're trying to get back to Columbus. But it's a different format as it in previous years. It's no longer that super regional.
No super regional.
It's just like
this morning.
Just like football. 4 teams from each region get in. One plays 4, 2 plays 3. So Wayne County, fortunately, number 1 seed gets to host. So since we get the opponent from the other region in time, we'll pass it along. But it's going to definitely be Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday at Barbara Struckoff Field. Do you know what region it is yet?
I do not know.
So the region. We'll play the number 4 team from that region here at Barbara Struckoff Field in a doubleheader next Wednesday, right? Okay.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. So you've got to find out who it is. Who are we going to be playing?
It's a 2 out of 3 event, so if you split, you'll play Thursday as well. So.
Okay. All right. 3 years in a row, the Lady Jackets
hope
won
not
region.
to do that because Thursday's the homecoming parade. So
yeah.
I don't know if the county commissioners knew that when they rescheduled their meeting for Thursday. So I wonder if they're going to keep it Thursday. So again, they got rescheduled their county meeting because Monday was canceled. So they rescheduled for that Thursday. So I don't know if they realized that homecoming parade's going to be that afternoon. So maybe the parade will be over by the time the meeting gets underway.
It should be. It should be over by plenty of time.
Yeah, the meeting starts at 6. So
6. The parade will be over by 5. Yeah.
So it'll be a busy day next Thursday, and next week is the homecoming game, BC Cadets. So.
BC, they're still ranked in the top 10, aren't they?
Yeah,
I didn't see Ware County up there, but I saw the rest of them.
Ware's pretty good, but they're not in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think it's just BC and Perry
right
now.
Yeah.
Perry, the defending state champions, but BC and Ware play this Friday night, so that'll be an interesting ball game.
Okay.
But I believe BC's the cream of the crop in the region.
I think so, huh? Okay. Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, we'll see them firsthand a week from Friday.
Yeah, well, we'll see them Friday week. No game tomorrow night because Wayne County played on Monday night, and they'll be back in action Friday week with homecoming. BC's going to say, you scheduled us for homecoming? No, we didn't. It just worked out that way because of these doggone blasted hurricanes that keep coming through.
Unfortunate circumstances. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that it looks like, we were talking yesterday morning, if Bilton goes a little south of Tampa, we're in good news. If it goes a little north of Tampa, we're in bad news. It went south. So luckily for us and luckily for Tampa, it did go south of, it went across where Sarasota is. And so it's better for them and better for us. We'll just get wind today. As the morning goes along, I can already see that the sun's trying to come through some of the clouds out there, and the skies are starting to get blue. But we'll just have that wind today. So really what we need to watch out for is falling trees or limbs.
I said when the school system out the EMA yesterday, I said it was unpredictable.
It was unpredictable. You didn't know which way it was going to go.
They just played it safe and canceled school for a day, but they're going to have school on Monday. So, but as they mentioned in the press release, they're getting a lot of calls about Monday and Tuesday.
We talked about that yesterday.
They're not going to be make-up days. Monday's a holiday. Tuesday's a teacher work day. So students have off Monday and Tuesday next week. They're not using those days for make-up days. So.
Well, they said that in the release that they don't use holidays as make-up days because a lot of people have vacations planned for those early on. And so the students will have off next Monday and Tuesday, Monday Columbus Day, and then the students will have off Monday and Tuesday, but the teachers have to go on Tuesday for work day. But no Wayne County school for the students next Monday or Tuesday. None today, but they do have to go tomorrow on Friday.
Stressing tomorrow is a normal day.
Normal day. That's right. Get up, go to school tomorrow.
Buses will be running. So.
Right. So, sounds good. Didn't you say you're going to see a Notre Dame game sometime soon?
I'm leaving today. Flying out today. Going to see Notre Dame for the first time.
Now, they're playing
Stanford. 3:30 Saturday afternoon.
Now, how did you end up at this Notre Dame game?
Well, I had to find a weekend where Wayne County wasn't playing.
I know, but are you going with somebody? Somebody had to get your line tickets, who you sitting with?
C.J. Worsler and Sandy Gore were all going.
Okay, so you got folks that are going.
He's got connections up there. He's got season tickets up there, so he offered. wanted to know if I wanted to go. I said, yeah. So we planned
definitely.
it. We planned it
who
months
wouldn't?
ago.
Yeah.
I said, I'm still kicking myself for not being there when Georgia went there, but different times, different circumstances allowed me to go this time. So looking forward to it. Hadn't seen the stadium, so heard a lot of good things about it. So growing up Catholic, being a
Yeah,
big
you grew up
Notre Dame
Catholic.
fan.
Notre Dame's your second favorite
Yeah.
team after Georgia, and
So it'd be fun
now
to
you
see
get
the
to go
stadium.
there and
Yeah.
be in the hallowed halls
That's
there.
right. See touchdown Jesus up close in person. So
Yeah.
can't wait.
What's the name of the stadium?
South Bend, I guess. I don't know.
It's the town it's in, Bob.
I don't know. Does it have a name?
I don't know if they do or not. You know, we got Sanford Stadium in Georgia.
I'm not sure.
You know,
I just always called it Notre Dame. So I don't
there's
know.
Notre Dame. You don't know the name of the stadium, but that's going to be right. You're going to be sitting there cheering, and more than likely Notre Dame should win. They're playing Stanford,
Yeah, it should be a blowout.
and so you're going to a good game there to go see
But you
Notre
never
Dame.
know. I mean, Vandy was supposed to get blown out by Alabama.
Yeah, you don't know. Do you?
Nowadays, you don't know.
God, they're getting
There's
blasted
no,
for
there's
that.
No idea.
They are just getting blasted. I heard an interview yesterday with the head coach of Vanderbilt with Dan Patrick, and just talking about what they've done to get where they are, and just very proud of his team and the coaches for putting together that type of effort against the number one team in the country.
I saw an interview with the quarterback yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum show, and Feinbaum was talking about all these people reaching out to him. He's heard from all kinds of celebrities and all that. So he said he's trying to stay humble, but his phone's been blowing up.
It's just one win,
He's
folks.
hearing from people he's never heard from. All these celebrities are reaching out to him. So
Get on that publicity bandwagon.
Seemed like a good kid, but I said, we'll see how Vandy does this weekend against Kentucky. Like I said, can they sustain it, after the big win?
I mean, because look
they're
how
still a 14-point underdog to Kentucky, so
yeah.
not sure if anybody's buying the Vandy hype or not. So I think people just believing more and more that Alabama laid an egg.
Just laid an egg.
They said they'd come ready to play. And
They did.
they did get whipped in the game. I mean, not taking anything away from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt beat them on the off. I mean, watching the game, Vanderbilt was definitely the better team that day. Alabama their defense couldn't stop anybody. That's what was amazing. I mean, they didn't have the ball that often. I mean, they're trying to blame it on the quarterback. I mean, he had the ball for 10 minutes and scored 30-some points. I mean, it wasn't the offense. It was definitely the defense of Alabama that couldn't stop Vanderbilt. So, which was amazing because, like I said, they talked about yesterday, watching that game, any normal college football fans thinking eventually Alabama's
going to wake up and just blow it down the
right,
and say,
yeah.
we're tired of messing around.
I mean, it's just really going to happen. I mean, it was like, the more you watched it, it was less hoping and praying Vanderbilt could hold on, but you just didn't think they could. And when they did, it was just amazing to watch the celebration. But now they got to turn the page and see if they can win another SEC game. But like I said, the odds makers in Vegas don't think they're going to win. They got Kentucky favored by 14 points. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the only thing I can find on Notre Dame Stadium is Notre Dame Stadium.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Notre
it.
Dame, South
Notre
Bend.
Dame Stadium.
Yeah, right.
Notre Dame Stadium. I was looking over here to see if it said, like you looked at if you look at Georgia Stadium, it'd say Sanford Stadium. You got each the rest of them. Many of them do have names, but it just says Notre Dame Stadium.
There's 12-team playoffs. Some of these SEC games this week very crucial for a lot of teams. Oklahoma's already got a loss. They played Texas. They can't afford a second loss. LSU, Ole Miss can't afford a second loss. It's always tough to go into Tiger Stadium Saturday night, so we'll see how they do. But, again, there's 12-team playoffs. You can't afford to lose many games. So see how it all shakes out this weekend. But there's some marquee games. That Oregon-Ohio State game's going to be fun to watch.
It's about time there's some good marquee games. It seems like every week there's just nothing but
Texas-Oklahoma will be a fun game to watch. LSU, Ole Miss.
Yeah, a lot of good games this weekend.
Should be fun.
Good. And speaking of games, we are your Georgia Southern Eagle football radio station for Southeast Georgia. And this game must have been changed times because originally the Georgia Southern game was scheduled for 6 o'clock this Saturday there for kickoff at the stadium there, that Paulson Stadium in Statesboro was originally scheduled for 6, but now it's at 8. It's 8 o'clock against Marshall.
I'm sure.
And
it's
so that
on
must be TV reasons there.
Yeah.
And so our tailgate show to get you in the mood and fired up for kickoff at 8 o'clock right here on 105.5 FM. We'll begin with the Georgia Southern Tailgate Show. So tailgate with us here on 105.5 FM. All you Eagle fans and football fans begin at 6 o'clock Saturday with kickoff at 8.
Georgia Southern, a slight home underdog.
To Marshall?
Marshall.
Okay.
We Are Marshall. You ever see that movie?
Yeah, I think so. That was a long time ago after the catastrophe.
That's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey does a great job in that movie. That's a good movie.
Okay.
Want to see an excellent sports movie? Check that out. We Are Marshall.
We Are Marshall. Okay. They're green, aren't they? Are they colored green? I think I remember that. Yeah. And, the Dodgers hung on by the skin of their teeth last night and just whipped up on the Padres. I mean, just blanked them. And so Game 5 tomorrow night, or tonight. Is it tomorrow night or tonight? Tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Tomorrow night against San Diego.
Games just today,
Whoever wins will win. Yeah. And the Mets, the Phillies, just breeze to a division championship and then get beat by a wild card team, the Mets, who they play several times during the course of the year because of being in the same division there. But, man.
I thought they were going to tear down that stadium when Francisco Lindor hit that grand slam. I mean,
that was exciting, wasn't it?
It was exciting in New York. People went crazy.
Of course, they went crazy. I mean, here it is. Your team is now into the playoffs, advancing forward. Going to play either the Padres or the Dodgers.
All those New Yorkers are hoping for that Subway Series again between.
Yeah, they hope for that. I think it's happened one time before, hadn't it? Subway Series between the Yankees and the Mets, the Padres giving the Dodgers everything they possibly can take, with the Dodgers payroll probably as much as the three teams below it, other than New York and about maybe Boston. I mean, their payroll is just out the roof there in baseball. See, in baseball, you can spend as much as you want. In football, everybody's got to spend the same amount, okay? And so in the Dodgers have got a payroll that, that's something else.
I'm still a big Freddie Freeman fan. Like, he wasn't able to play yesterday. He's dealing with an ankle injury, so he was scratched from the lineup yesterday. So, but fortunately, the Dodgers won big. O'Shea, Ohtani, and the top of the order came through. Like I said, they blew them out 8-0. So that series tied 2-2. They'll decide that tomorrow night. So that should be a fun game. And the Tigers and the Guardians are tied. That's the decisive game today. And the Yankees lead 2-1 over Kansas City. So they're winding it down.
Still having a hard time with Guardians and Commanders.
Yeah.
Wish they'd have better names than that. I mean, Commanders for the, used to be the Washington Redskins, and the Guardians that used to be for the Cleveland Indians, You seem like you could come up with a name that had a little more, I don't know, to it.
Man, thank goodness they haven't messed with the Braves name.
Yeah.
They keep talking about it, but they haven't messed with it yet. So.
Yeah.
I said you got to be PC these days. You can't
got to be PC. Can't offend anybody. If we offend anybody, we're not trying to, folks. We apologize for it in advance. We'll do like Larry the Cable Guy does. I'm sorry.
I just still remember Buddy Lynn Haas, man. He still was furious. They changed the name.
Well,
he was a traditionalist. He played for the Redskins. That was his team.
Was it 14 years, somewhere along 15 years? He was the starting center for the Washington Redskins.
17 years he played in the
17. Wow.
But he's fixing to be inducted into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame in a couple weekends up there in Atlanta. Yep. I think it's the 26th of October is the date. So we'll have that on sports next week. But again, there's a big.
26.
Big ceremony up at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame where they're inducting Lynn Haas into that Georgia Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the very top athlete that's ever come out of Wayne County, and will be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame in Atlanta on the 26th of October. That's great. I guess family members and all that's going up there. Other people from Wayne County are going to be there to watch the induction into the Sports Hall of Fame.
I still remember those Touchdown Club days years ago when I first came, and Jim Bowie would get up there and say, "And we got the legend back there, Mr. Lamb."
The legend.
He always referred to him as the legend.
Jim Bowie was always a great sheriff of no matter what club. I remember in JC's years ago in the 70s.
He was a
something
classic.
Else.
Jim Bowie was,
he was always the life of the party, always fun.
He was as good as Red Skelton. I mean, I'll tell you.
I mean,
like I said, I remember being out there and people be out in the yard at JC's and somebody would yell, "It's time for the sheriff's report." And everybody come flocking in because they didn't want to miss 1 minute of Jim Bowie. Same thing with the touchdown club. I mean, he would just, from start to finish, it was just laughter.
Right.
I mean, everybody just rolling. I mean,
Just rolling.
I mean, just, I'd go home, my stomach was hurting. I said, "Why my stomach?" "Oh yeah, because I was laughing.
So much with Jim Bowie on there. You know, back in the late '70s when I was in JC's here, you know, where we used to host the JC state convention over on Jekyll. 1 year we would host it. 1 year Brunswick JC's would host it, and 1 year St. Simon's JC's would host it. But it'd always be on Jekyll over there. And one of those 2 years I lived back here from '77 to '79 after college. We hosted one of them, and it was just a blast over there. You know. And you know, with everyone just having a good old time. Those JC days back in I was a member of the Jesup JCs, and then I moved to McRae, Georgia, and I was a member of McRae JCs for a year, and then I went to Aiken, South Carolina, and was a member of the JCs up there for, I don't know, about 10 years, I think. About 10 years I was a member of the JCs up there.
We kept telling Jim Bowie, he missed his call. He should have been a stand-up comedian because that guy was,
he was funny.
He'd tell those fishing stories about Lynn and James Gordon and Wendell Beecher and Nubbin Keith and all those guys. You couldn't tell if he was making them up or was true. I bet everybody would say
it didn't matter.
There's a little bit of truth to it, and there's a lot of exaggeration. But he was just entertaining. It was great times. And it was same as like I said, the JCs, when he would do that report, everybody would just make sure they were in their seat to hear what he had to say, because
you just never knew.
It was pure entertainment.
Yeah. And lots of fun. I know there's a lot of guys around here, you and me, a lot of guys around here that just have so many fond memories of the JCs back in the for '70s. Not before that, but the '70s and '80s. It was amazing.
And just did a lot of great work too.
Oh yeah, did a lot of great. We did a lot of work. We was always doing work projects.
They used to handle the Toys for Tots and the Christmas drive and all that. Delivered, built the heliport, stadium, all that stuff. So great tradition.
Stadium.
Like I said, those conventions.
And JC Landing down there was helped built by the JCs.
Those conventions down on Jekyll, those were historic too.
Legendary. They were legendary. I still remember. Just glad there wasn't social media back then.
I still remember when they warned the band. When we give you the signal, cover your ears because
cannon's going off inside that Aquarama over there with all that glass. You was wondering one day it was just going to break, that cannon going off, but it never did.
How that person never got caught, but that was a time that most people were there remember that night as well, because those windows just. It's just the whole building just shook.
It did, yeah, because it was a lot of glass. It was Aquarama. It was a lot of glass in there,
That was a well thought out plot.
And then, of course, you always at the annual convention you had the usually two guys running for state president.
Right.
You usually had, and those were campaigns, kind of like state campaigns, sometimes even national campaigns. You had. I remember when I lived in Aiken, South Carolina, our president of our JCs the next year ran for state president, and there was a group of all of us every single night, weekday night, just about every single weekday night. We was taking him somewhere in the state to speak at a meeting somewhere in the state, and so he could. Sleep on the way back while someone drove, and everybody just did shifts and stuff like that. And then we had the big convention in Columbia, South Carolina for the state convention, and he won. But there's a lot of work that goes into that. And a lot of politicians back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s will tell you they learned how to run a campaign for running for an office in JC's.
The best years when they had the fake campaign running for state JC president, Kenny Bryan. They had posters everywhere. They took him down there in a limousine. They had vote Kenny Bryan state president, and the state people were like, "Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? He's a write-in."
They were getting mad. But everywhere you went, you cannot go anywhere without seeing those posters. Vote Kenny Bryan, state JC president.
You need an official candidate.
You go to the bathroom, they're in the urinals. They had them everywhere. And the state people were going nuts like, who is this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Who's this Kenny Bryant fellow?
Yeah, people get the ballot and Kenny's name's not on there. Where's this Kenny guy on this ballot?
That was fun. That was a fun time. Because they had a limousine time, and they drove around the limousine. He'd be waving everybody. Everybody was like, who's this guy? Is he really running for state president? Never
During the day, a nice, conservative, laid-back accountant. Nights and weekends, a jokester with the JCs. Kenny Bryant, huh?
Then they'd have those golf tournaments. That's where I first tasted Silver Queen corn. My goodness.
Oh, yeah. That's your first taste of Silver Queen? Silver Queen?
Yeah, we ran out and picked it. I never picked corn before.
Oh, yeah.
JCs would go out and pick it.
Go out and pick it, yeah.
I was like,
Shuck it.
That was the new experience. But when they finally grilled that stuff down there on Jekyll and I tasted that for the first time, I was like, my gosh, this is like incredible.
You never had that up north, did you?
No, didn't know what Silver Queen. That was good
Silver
stuff.
Queen.
They used to have those golf tournaments, all that. That was a lot of fun, organized. So.
Oh, yeah.
Just some great memories, great times. Like I said, and the JCs were just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and, JC's put on the fair for many years, and, we provide the manpower for everything out there. I remember one time we were getting ready for the fair that night, and they had one of the groups there had brought an elephant. Not a huge elephant, but about a medium-sized elephant, I guess, that was part of an act in one of the performances and so forth. So we were out there with the elephant, and he's kind of tied up and so forth. But he's like my dog. He knows hand signals because one of my dogs is deaf, so I have to use hand signals. And so I went up to the elephant, and it was tied to something, but he could walk around a pretty good ways there. And so I went up there and I went to the elephant, and I just wanted to see what would happen. And I raised both my arms up almost like a touchdown type thing. Well, what did he do? Raised up. And I had to get out of the way when he started coming down.
My buddy Henry Martin, I'll never forget the first JC Christmas party I went to. It was formal attire. Everybody's in coats and ties. Henry came to the dance. He had those T-shirts that looked like a tuxedo and a pair of blue jeans and tennis shoes. So I said, Henry, did you get the memo, man? This is formal attire.
This is my formal T-shirt.
He said, "Bah, we just walked through a cow pasture. We're tired."
He can't get too formal on the cow pasture, can you?
I'm not getting dressed up for that. He was the only person I was like, did he not get the memo?
I don't think he really cared.
Not
knowing Henry.
Henry, man.
Yeah.
I could write a book stories about Henry Martin. That was the fun times back in the days.
Yeah. Now, he moved in after I had already moved. I graduated Georgia in 76 and lived in South Carolina for a year working at one of our stations there, and then we came here in 77. And was here from 77 to 79, and he came in during that time period, and he was great. He was a hit already right off the bat.
Great photographer, though, man. He was just very talented, but he made for some funny stories over the years.
Yeah, the articles that people read, and we all read on internet, and on what we think is verified news sites and things of that sort, you just don't know, because you don't know what's going on. These people are not really going to be held for liable. But I read an article a couple of days ago, and it sounded just as convincing as anything else. It said that Caitlin Clark was not coming back to the WNBA, that she was going to go and play in Europe because of all the stress that she was having to go through here as a rookie, and that blah blah blah, and this, that, and the other. You got through reading and you said, my word. And then you kind of find out, and I said, I'm not going to try, because I'm the type of person, if I read a news thing online, no matter where it's at from, I'm very, unless it's on a site like ours or WTOC or the newspaper or either any radio station, TV station, or newspaper, because we're all held liable for that stuff, and we've gone through training to know how to report correctly. But these people on the internet that write these stories and submit them, and the reason why they do that is because as much as they get read, the more money they get. They do it for the money, okay? But it looked like, it just read like Caitlin was leaving the WNBA, would be back next year, going to Europe and going to play there because she was tired of all the controversy. Not true at all. Not true at all.
Well, the same thing happened in sports yesterday. Somebody sent out a press release, or it looked like a legitimate news source, said that Kirby Smart's going to be the next head football coach with the New York Jets, that he's tired of the NIL, just like Nick Saban. He's ready to bail, but nothing could be farther from the truth. Kirby's not going anywhere, but it looks legit when you look at it and read it. You just got to check it out. So
you have to check more and more in source because people can make up any type of stories, and the sites that host them don't really care because what they're looking for is clicks. The more clicks you get, the more money you
Are
make.
They making money? I guess.
That's right. The more the more controversial the article is, the more clicks it's going to get, which means there's going to be more money you're going to make, and more money the site that hosts that particular article is going to make also. So it's always about the money. It doesn't matter if it's the truth or facts, Bob. It's about the money on how many clicks you can get on these. So you've always have got to double check on stories and don't read something on online and think it's the gospel truth.
I don't think Kirby will ever go to the NFL. I mean, I don't think his style of coaching, all that yelling, screaming, hollering is going to work in an NFL locker.
No, it won't.
I don't think that NFL player is going to adjust to that. So I think Kirby's right where he wants to be. So,
boy, they got rid of their coach. Walked him out of the stadium. Wouldn't even let him go to his office and get his stuff. Just walked him out of the stadium. And they said the last New York Jets coach, which they go through a lot of them, they got fired. They didn't do that. So I don't know what happened in this situation.
Aaron Rodgers is getting blamed for it, but he was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and denied all that and said that he liked the coach. That's the reason he went to New York. So, you got to believe what you want to believe. But Aaron Rodgers was adamant that he had nothing to do with the guy being fired. So that's his story, and he's sticking to it. So he was pretty adamant about it yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
That's right, he was.
But most people inside say that's he made the decision. So who knows?
Okay.
It'd be interesting what the coach has to say. What does he think? He hasn't said anything. All he said was, "Thank you for the time in New York. Appreciate the opportunity." And I said, we say it all the time. They just recycle. He'll wind up as an offensive defense coordinator somewhere, some
right.
team, and
you just recycle back around somewhere.
Don't feel sorry for these guys. It's not like they're going to be out of a job.
No, it's not like they're going to be in the unemployment line, in the soup kitchen.
They just recycle.
Yeah, I just read an article this morning that said the Jacksonville Jaguars plane trip to London, because they're playing there this Sunday in London, has been delayed from morning to afternoon because of the hurricane.
In fact, the Falcons can have Arthur Smith back tomorrow because he's not a very good offense coordinator in Pittsburgh. And I knew he wasn't going to be because I knew he wasn't any good in Atlanta. So, but Atlanta, you can have him back if you want him because I'm ready to
ship. You got Arthur Smith there as your offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh.
He hadn't done anything with the offense. He's pitiful.
Pitiful, huh?
Like I said, this was a guy that had Kyle Pitts and I was talking to a Falcon fan the other day. Can somebody give the Falcons a memo that Kyle Pitts was the 4th overall pick in the entire NFL draft? Can you throw him the ball? They finally threw him the ball in that overtime win over the Saints, and it paid dividends. I mean, that's one of the best tight ends in the league. Yeah,
and I thought they're using tight ends a lot more these days.
I mean, you watch a Falcon game, and he's hardly ever getting the ball. I don't know.
And the Falcons, you had one of the best tight ends of all time a few years ago, and they just throw to him all the time.
That's why I didn't want Arthur Smith. He had all those weapons in Atlanta, never used them. That's why he got fired. So I'm not real happy with him in Pittsburgh because he's not doing anything with our offense.
So a smile didn't go on your face when you found out
that
he's going there?
No, I said that's going to be a bad decision. And it's already a bad decision 5 weeks into the season. So if Atlanta wants him back, they can have him back. I don't want him.
You don't want him, huh?
I want him fired tomorrow.
Talk with Thomason about it and get it done, Bob.
I haven't had an offense since Big Ben left.
Yeah, you really hadn't, have you, there at Pittsburgh?
I mean, it's just been a disaster. It's like the Dolphins without Marino. I mean, how long they've been waiting for a quarterback. They finally got Tua, but Tua can't stay healthy.
I know.
But Pittsburgh's in the same boat. We haven't had a good quarterback since Ben left. So, but he's fixing to go in the Hall of Fame in about 2 years. So he'll be a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. So we'll get to celebrate that.
Okay.
That's all we celebrate. We celebrate people going in the Hall of Fame because our current football team is terrible.
You got to do something to make the fans feel good, huh?
That's right.
Got to do something. Got to do something. All right. Let's see here. Let's go over once again some of the events that were supposed to take place but now have been delayed to another time, like Odom Homecoming and the William Cobb Memorial Rodeo.
Yeah, the Odom Homecoming is the 26th of October. Again, the Pinking of the Fountain's been rescheduled. That's going to take place in downtown Jesup on
the Pinking of the Fountain.
Yeah,
Make it pink.
That's going to take place October 22nd. The Lean Todd Memorial Rodeo, which was set for this weekend, has been moved to November 8th and 9th.
Okay.
And school is in session tomorrow.
You got to go to school tomorrow in Wayne County, but you're out today. And then you're going to be out next Monday and Tuesday because of a holiday that had already been set up for Columbus Day and the day after. So, and we found out they do not use holidays as makeup days because of people planning way in advance for those.
And as soon as we get the matchup in time for the girls softball game next Wednesday, we'll pass that information along.
Yeah. Once again, congratulations to the Wayne County girls softball team. Won region yesterday with a game over Ware County, and now we'll be hosting the first round of state playoff action next Wednesday at Barbara Struckoff Field.
Third straight region title for the girls softball team. So congrats.
3 in a row. Well, that's great. That is absolutely fantastic. All right, Bob, anything else in your mind this morning?
Have
a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by O.C. Welch Ford, by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and the Service Department at GNS Auto Sales on North 1st Street in Jesup.